What's up, my scribbles? It's Hannah Spangler! And as I promised, I'm going to be answering your questions in celebration of now 12,000 subscribers on my channel. Thank you so much. If you're new, maybe I'll do another Q&A again sometime in the future, depending on how this goes. It could be a total disaster, but let's answer your questions and find out. When did you start drawing? What were some inspirations or references you used? Finally, what stuff do you have planned? Well, I started drawing when, everyone says, I started drawing when I was just a little kid when I was 3. I started drawing when I was writing on the walls. Well, it's the same for me. I just started drawing as soon as I came out of the womb. But I really didn't take it seriously until I was around 12 years old. And that's when I started to feel like, oh yeah, I think I want to do this for like the rest of my life. Let's start doing that. And I would take references from all of my favorite animated movies, TV shows, and other artists that I was following at the time. And so it was a lot of Disney, DreamWorks, How to Train Your Dragon was a big influence, along with Avatar: The Last Airbender, Tangled, stylistically, and those came after I was 12, but the inspirations from those mediums just progressed as time went on. So having that kind of Avatar: The Last Airbender type of stylistic feel and storytelling, pacing, and everything, along with the whimsicality of some of the Disney films and DreamWorks films that I've come to know and love. And do I have stuff planned? Yes, I do. I have more speed paints in the works and other projects that I would like to remain secret at the time being, but I will definitely fill you in once I have more info. Do you like Undertale? Yes. How did you get into drawing? Well, it was just kind of sort of this innate feeling that I just needed to create something. That it was just, I feel like that's what I was created to do. Because one, I feel a joy and a passion to do it, and I cannot wait for the next project the next day. It's what gets me up in the morning. It's really not that hard. Once you are inspired by something and you feel a deep connection with what you're doing and why you're doing it, everything else will just fall into place. Do you have any animations in the works? Are you planning on doing any animated shorts soon? I do. I have been working on an animation for the past 6 months now with a great friend in California. It's called The Lane Below, and I think I've mentioned it before, but if you click here on this info card or wherever it's going to be on this section right here, it'll link you to the Lane Below YouTube page where it'll have the trailer and some other sneak peeks, and I think it'll also have other links to our Facebook and Instagram where we post more like teasers and stuff and art. But we're hoping to launch it by January 27th, and it's a half live action, half animated film where we kind of blend it together because we thought, hey, we haven't seen stuff like this in a while. So I have a hand in every single scene, and it's just me and him, and so I do every bit of art and animation that you see. So that's why we've kind of been pushing back the date a little bit, because now finals are getting crazy and I'm about to graduate college, and then there's also the future I need to think about. But in any sense, yes, I have been working on another animated short, and even afterwards I still have other plans that I will remain not telling. Wow, did that make any sense whatsoever? How is your relationship with your family? It is amazing. I am a hardcore, die-hard family lover. Extended family and close-knit family. We are a very family-oriented family. Being homeschooled for 12 years, you start to learn to love your family no matter what. But there are so many things that I can say about my mom, my dad, and my little brother. Well, I'll tell you something about my little brother though. For instance, last night at 11:30 at night, I went up to get a piece of cake before bed, and my brother just happened to be in the kitchen, and we just started talking. And then we just happened to be on the floor crying, laughing at all the stupid crap we say to each other. And that's why I'm afraid of moving out. Like who am I gonna tell my inside jokes to? No one's gonna get me. I'm afraid. Brother, I need you. What inspires you to make brilliant art and videos on YouTube? As for those that inspire you, how do you incorporate your own style into that inspiration? Also, what kind of books do you read? Alright, let's answer this one at a time here. What inspires you to make brilliant art and videos on YouTube? Well, I think what inspires me the most is the fact that I have a small bit of impact and influence on other people's lives. Because obviously through Overcomer, I've been able to speak into people and to encourage people. And that's really what gets me up in the morning. That's what inspires me, is that I have the ability to create something that can impact someone in a way that can change their perspective or their thought process or their thinking. Because that's what's really important to me. I don't want to just make something like, oh yeah, it's really cute and colorful and oh, I'm happy for a little bit. No, I want to make something that provokes change in someone, that makes people think about themselves in a way that allows them to change. Because in that sense, in Overcomer, that change was not allowing the negative self-talk to really overcome you, but you overcome that. Because it was a very personal project to me, because that's what I experienced. And even though the ending was highly progressed, because it doesn't happen overnight, and I understand this, but I needed to finish it in order to get a grade. But it allows to give encouragement to people. And that's what inspires me, because I want to create something that when you go and watch what I do or see what I create, you can take something from that into the real world that gives you more self-confidence or more encouragement to be who you are in God's eyes. Because I believe, as a Christian, I believe God has put this talent in me in order to give encouragement to this audience that I have now, which is you guys. And I want to be able to encourage you. I want to use this gift that I've been blessed with to help others, which ties into who inspires me. And as cliche as it is to say, but God is a huge inspiration, because He is the creator of everything, and He allowed me to have a little bit of that in me, to create something from my own imagination in order to benefit people and to give people joy and happiness and encouragement. Along with other inspirations, I have a mentor named Noah Elias who's really pushed me to be who I am as a creative and an entrepreneur and an artist. He's worked with Disney and Pixar, Lucasfilm, Marvel, blah. He's worked with all those things, and he's an amazing artist, but he's also a great motivational speaker, and I'm so grateful for him to devote some of his time to me and so many others. What kind of books do you read? I'm a horrible human being when it comes to reading. I haven't read books in a long time, but from my childhood, and I would still read them today, it's the Gallagher Girls series, which is like this awesome teen spy book series, and oh, it's so amazing. I haven't read it since I was like in 7th grade, but it's so good. From what I remember, it's amazing. Also, this is probably one of my favorites, and this tops Gallagher Girls, and it's The Mysterious Benedict Society. And that book almost heavily inspired the Limitless Crew series that I'm creating right now. And it's this band of 4 misfits, who are brought together to solve these mysteries. It's like a mystery book with these kids that are like, I think the oldest is like 13, everyone else is younger than that, and they put all their like strange talents together and they solve mysteries and beat bad guys. Oh my gosh, I read it when I was like in 8th grade, and it's so good. I recommend it to everybody. It's an easy read. There's 3 books, and I think like a 4th spin-off book about another character, but oh my gosh, it's so good. Have you gone through difficult times when you didn't feel like drawing anymore for an extended length of time? What were the repercussions? How did you manage to collect yourself up during those dark times? How you conquered the battle, how you struggled to kick back all of the negativities around? How did you build up the bravery to do what you dreamed of? Also, what did you do if no one believed in you? Alright, I'm going to group these all together because it's a very heavy question to ask. But I will gladly answer it for you. The darkest time that I had in my life was a couple years ago, and it was this really intense transition season where, all my life I was homeschooled from 1st grade through 12th grade, and I was just graduating, and the thought of college was really intimidating. And along with that, I got a new job, the job that I still have today, and I love it a lot. But when I first started, it was very overwhelming because the previous job I had was just so horrible that on the inside I was really insecure about my ability to work. So trying to overcome some of those thoughts in my head. Along with that, my family decided to move from a really nice suburban house into this crappy fixer-upper that we're living in right now, which it looks really nice, but during that time where I didn't have a lot of foundational security, gosh, you should read the journal entries I had. I was such an angsty 18-year-old. It's so funny. But all those feelings were so real. I hated everything that was going on, and I don't really hate a lot of things, but I hated that time. Because also during that time, during that transition, there was a big chunk of my friends who kind of went in the same direction, and I chose to go a different path. And seeing them on social media and everything, they looked like they were having so much fun, that they were part of the it crowd. I felt like that they didn't need me anymore, that I was just dust in the wind, and that my friendship didn't really mean anything in the past. And so all of that kind of just resonated with me, and I really marinated in those thoughts. And so that was such a dark time because I didn't have the joy to create anymore. Because I was so wrapped up in this sick and twisted sense of security in my self-pity, which I know a lot of you are in right now, where you feel like your friends hate you or you're unwanted or unloved. Here's the thing, I didn't hear that from anybody. Those words came from inside my mind, which is a good tie into what Overcomer is. This is how I overcame that negative self-talk, is when I realized those words were coming from me. And if those words did come from someone's mouth, it was years ago and they just stayed there. And I started to believe it myself. And so during that time of self-pity, it got to its climax, the pinnacle of self-pettiness, on New Year's Eve, 2014, just turning into 2015. I was alone in the living room, and my parents went to bed early and my brother went to bed early, so I saw the ball drop in New York City, and as soon as the ball dropped, I just started bawling because it was the worst year of my life. 2014 sucked, and I was afraid of what the next year was going to come. I thought it was going to be just like 2014. So I prayed for friends to come into my life that would fill me up as much as I would fill them up, and I prayed for opportunities that would come my way in order to fulfill this creative instinct that I know I had. And here's the cool thing though, he answered my prayers. I have friends now that I couldn't ask for better, and for all these opportunities that have just been laid in front of me. So during those dark times, I knew I had God on my side. God was so important to the development of my character and my personality that I would be giving you a disservice if I wasn't mentioning him in this Q&A, because I don't have to rely on myself or other flawed human beings in order for myself to feel good. You know, the creator of the universe, the creator of me, before I was even consumed in the womb, he knew what I was going to do and how much he loved me. And having that in the back of my mind, always knowing that I'm loved by the God of everything, that's the thing that keeps me going. Knowing that someone who shouldn't really love me, you know, really loves me and is cheering for me and is giving me all these opportunities in order to be happy with my life and enjoy the work that I'm doing, in order to spread the love that he's given me to the rest of you guys. So I really wasn't afraid of, you know, no one believing in me, because I knew God does. God always did. And he will continue to believe in me. Because he's the one that created me and all of my potential and everything that he's laid out in front of me. As long as I keep praying and keeping him in the forefront of why I do what I do, then I know things will come, and I know that success will follow wherever I go, because he's so good, and I wouldn't be where I am without his goodness. So I'd be giving you a disservice if I didn't mention him in my own story on how I got out of my dark season. Well, there you have it. I think I'm done. I probably rambled a lot. Editing this thing is going to be a beast. But I hope I answered your guys' questions and I encouraged you in a way. This was actually pretty fun. I was actually surprised to see how many questions you guys sent me, and I had to bury through them. I thought it was going to be a little sparse, but you guys ask good questions. I appreciate that. And remember kids, scribbles aren't just scribbles, they are beautiful messes. I will see you later. I forgot to put on makeup for this video. Oh my god, I cut my own hair too. And it's an ombre, I forgot to mention that. I put some blonde, well I didn't put blonde in my hair, I told someone to put blonde in my hair. I'm very happy about it. Okay, and we're good.